Big Poppy, Clint Miller.
Ho, 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 Steve.
Ho, 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 here at the whorehouse. Alongside, to my left, we got B-Rad.
What's up?
How far would you go?
I tried doing it with them, but I don't know. I got to grow a little bit bigger set before I can do that.
The time is near.
Race fans, it's time to throw it up on the cushion and get dirty. Live from the Casa de Pork Chop Studios, it's time for Turn 5 Live. Now, your hosts of Turn 5 Live, Stephen Ovens, Clint Miller, and Brad Ovens.
Oh, race fans, welcome in. It's another Tuesday night edition of Turn 5 Live here on the Performance Motorsports Network. Man, Clint, I love the way that sounds. Turn 5 Live on the Performance Motorsports Network. I'm your host, Steve Ovens, sitting alongside my good friend and partner in crime, Clint Miller. Clint, welcome aboard. B-Rad's going to be joining us shortly here. He's cruising, and he told me he's working the draft in between Canandaigua, New York, and Penn Yan, New York. So we'll see just how the draft shakes out when he comes through Gorham.
Yeah, we'll have to see how bad his hair is slicked back like the wind.
Well, if we know anything about Brad and that little red Subaru, we know that it'll go.
And you can hear him coming a mile away.
Yeah, you betcha. Actually, we'll hear him when he gets into Gorham. Well, race fans, huge show tonight.
Yeah, how about that?
A couple weeks ago, we threw a question out there and said, you guys are listening to this show every single week. We want to know who you guys want to hear from. I mean, we can go through our contact list and get drivers on the show, but Clint, this is going to be a great show because all three of these guys were listener requests, and I am thrilled that we're able to cross all three of these drivers off the list. And the third one, yes, he's a driver too. Grant Hilfiger, owner of the 78 Modified for Billy Van Pelt, just pulled off the 2014 Woodhull Modified Track Championship for the Insinger Performance 370 Modifieds there at Woodhull. We're going to be starting off the show tonight with Super Matt Sheppard, come home second in points on the Super Dirt Car Series, and just by a small margin over Billy Decker. He also picked up the 2014 Brewerton Speedway Modified Track Championship as well as the Canandaigua Motorsports Park Track Championship. And going to be really, really awesome to talk to Matt tonight, talk about how 2014 went and what those guys are looking for in 2015. So should be good there. And after Matt Sheppard, we're going to hear from the 2014 Grit Racing Series champion, Rocky Warner. The Flying Squirrel, as he's affectionately known in the dirt world. So looking forward to talking to all of those guests tonight. Going to be a jam-packed show. Clint, let's get to some news and notes right off the bat here. And we've got some more news and notes out of the Black Rock Speedway. So we're catching some momentum here as far as the Black Rock side of things goes.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. I'm real excited. I've talked to a couple of different people. I talked to Craig Mark. We talked a little bit about the four cylinders and how we're happy with, now that Mike's taken over, how the track has made positive steps forward. And things are looking up. Things are looking good. And, big meeting this weekend, which is huge. If you want to come in and do it right, this is what you got to do. And it seems like Mike and Sue Foster are in for the long haul, and they're into doing it right.
That they are. They've already put some people in place at this point in time. We've got we know that Greg Hickson is going to be coming over from the Canandaigua Motorsports Park. He's going to be the race director in 2015.
Great. Fantastic.
That's a fantastic move, and as though bringing the modifieds back wasn't a big enough move. Bringing Greg Hickson in, I think automatically gives you credibility. That's exactly the word I was looking for.
I knew that. As
well as getting yourself started off on a pretty good, trying to get that reputation built up as a brand new promoter. Greg, as far as I know, is going to continue his work at the Canandaigua Motorsports Park, but the addition to Greg in the tower is great. Sheila Darcy is going to be the head scorer. She's been around dirt tracks as long as I can remember. And actually, she's going to be heading up the electronic scoring system as well. Clint, this was something that I learned, recently. I knew at one point that they had a scoring loop there at the Speedway. What I didn't realize is that it's still there and it can still be used.
Oh, yeah.
So,
I knew it was always there, and I always wondered why it wasn't used. But I mean, I don't know how if the use of transponders, is that what trips it, or if it's something else. I don't know, but I know that the transponders would be a nominal fee for a guy in a 4-cylinder to have.
Yeah, absolutely. As far as I know, they're going to be using that for the upper tier divisions,
yep.
And we're going to bring B-Rad in here. He wants to get in on the transponder discussion.
I almost think, if I remember, in the old days when they used it, I thought it was a laser system.
Okay.
Oh, that could be. And actually, like I said, this was something that I've actually just come to learn about here in the last day or two. So this is something that I'm definitely going to research, and hopefully with the folks at the Speedway at the rules meetings on Sunday, maybe I can track somebody down and get some audio for next week's episode, because that's definitely something that they'll want to know, is what divisions are going to need the transponders. And so we'll get some more information on that. So you've got Greg Hickson going to be the race director, Sheila Darcy going to be the head scorer up in the tower. Here's one that hasn't been announced yet, and he gave me the okay to announce it tonight on Turn 5 Live. Head starter Steve Kellogg returning to the Black Rock Speedway in 2015. He will be high atop the flag stand there on the front stretch. He is going to be writing about that in his area auto racing news article next week. As of the time that he submitted his article for this week that just came out in the digital edition this morning, he hadn't made his mind up, but gave me the okay today to let everybody know that he'll be returning. So,
that's great news. It helps with the stability, having that same guy coming back, as far as on track runnings go. So that's a thank you, Steve. That's great.
Absolutely. I know he's a listener of the show each week, and I appreciate him allowing us to make that announcement tonight. So good stuff there. Some of the key players starting to get into place, and I know in talking to Mike, some of the next things that they need to cross off the list are things like pit steward, the announcing team for 2015. They're actually working on that as we speak. So going to be pretty good to see. And actually, I'm actually just getting a message from the head starter. There's a loop for transponders, and there's also a photo eye transponder have been used there in the past. So going to get some more information on just exactly what they have there at the Speedway. It looks like they have used both systems in the past, and our good man down at PMN, Bob Steele, letting us know that as far as he was concerned, the transponder system worked just a little bit better than the laser system. So I've got a lot of education I need to do here before next week's episode. That would be a great Race Chaser Online article, to be quite honest with you, Clint.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, the whole transponder thing and the laser eye, I'm learning that same as like you are, with all the information coming in. It's what I'm trying to absorb and figure out. Can I make one comment here before we go too far?
Oh, absolutely.
Dare I say that Mike Jackson, Sue Foster have done more for the Speedway in a couple weeks than Rolling Wheels has? Because
he went there.
I did, and I'm starting to get the same. I'm starting to get the same inclination as I did last year about this time. They're giving things away left and right, and it's great, and they're throwing money around, but they haven't given us a schedule. They haven't given us the drivers top 25 or whatever that everybody's confused about, and it seems to be like the dog and pony show is in full effect.
Well, I'm gonna take my coat after that one. Man, you just lit the fire. Ooh, I love it.
Well, I'm going to go back to what Doug Elkins said last week. And Doug is a guy, as far as, dirt racing and dirt modified racing in Central New York, that's a name and information that I trust. I'm going to, I guess they're going to give these guys a little more time to get us this information out. As Doug said, not quite ready to push the panic button just yet, but as we get closer to Motorsports Expo, and that kind of segues into another piece that we wanted to talk about real quick in the first segment here, Motorsports Expo Incorporated on Facebook. That is a page created for what used to be called the Gator Racing News Motorsports Expo. That page has doubled in size over the last week. And that's where you're going to find all of your information for the Syracuse Car Show. Motorsports Expo INC. Look that up on Facebook and like their page. That's how you're going to get all the information. We've got some drivers already from the Black Rock Speedway that have submitted their registration.
The Backyard Motorsports Gang.
Yeah.
I believe they said they had 2 cars registered.
Yes.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so far they got 2, which for old Richie, that means it's time to crack the whip. Time to get that car going, and those guys will have it, and it's going to look great up there. But
I can't wait to see what they wrap the car in this year.
Boys, we've got Super Matt Sheppard coming up here in our next segment. We're going to take care of a little business, and when we come back, Super Matt Sheppard. You're listening to Turn 5 Live on the Performance Motorsports Network.
How would you like to win a brand new Corvette? Larry O's got all the details.
Enter America's #1 dream car giveaway contest at winyournewcar.com. That's right, winyournewcar.com. Complete the puzzle the fastest and win a new Corvette tax-free delivered to your door. Come on, stop dreaming and start driving with winyournewcar.com.
We're growing like crazy and need account reps who know their way around agencies, the internet, and social media. Got connections? Or do you know how to get to the decision makers? Are you fearless? We need you. Internet radio, or as we call it, wireless mobile radio, is rapidly becoming the place to be with almost limitless income potential. So contact us to get involved with the fastest growing professionally produced group of internet radio stations in the world. Your imagination is the only limit here. Call 717-749-0444. That's 717-749-0444. Or you can email us at scorpionradiogroup@gmail.com. You want to ask for Sue.
So you finally arrived at the sweet spot in your life. The kids are raised and gone. You have free time, and it's finally time to do something for you. If you've ever considered owning a Corvette but have been putting it off for years, now is the time to act. Isn't this the time to finally get that Corvette you always wanted and drooled and dreamed over? Well, grab the little lady by the hand and take her to Cooper Corvettes. They're conveniently located on Route 1 just off of I-95 and just north of the Marine Corps base. They have lots of pampered and well-maintained Corvettes in inventory, and if they don't have what you want, they'll find it. From classic Stingrays to modern-day cars, Cooper is your one-stop shop. And speaking of shops, they service what they sell. And even if you didn't buy a Cooper Corvette, they'll service your Corvette anyway. Become part of the Cooper Corvette family. Call them at 703-445-1483. That's 703-445-1483. And on the web at coopercorvettes.com. That's coopercorvettes.com, American pride and countrywide.
You wouldn't trust your taxes to an uncertified accountant, so why trust your vehicle to an uncertified technician? When you have to take your car into the shop, look for the blue and white ASE sign. That ASE blue seal means the shop employs technicians certified by the National Institute for Automotive Service Excellence. ASE certification is proof that technicians have the knowledge and experience to fix your vehicle right the first time. For more information on finding an ASE Blue Seal of Excellence facility, visit the website at www.ase.com.
Creekside Entertainment is the official DJ and photo booth of Turn 5 Live. Stuart Ovens and his staff at Creekside Entertainment are sure to provide you with the very best DJ and photo booth entertainment on the market in the Finger Lakes. Call Stu at 315-481-9700 or CreeksideEntertainmentDJ.com. Book your party or photo booth with Creekside Entertainment today.
Now back to the crew whose studio was named after a dinner entree. Here's Stephen, Clint, and Brad.
Welcome back, race fans, to Turn 5 Live here on the Performance Motorsports Network. Steve Ovens, Clint Miller, Brad Ovens joining you here on a Tuesday night, getting ready to go off to the hotline and bring in the driver of the Heinke Baldwin Racing FX Caprera Chevy 9H, Matt Sheppard. Matt, welcome to Turn 5 Live. It's good to have you for the first time here on our show.
Thanks for having me.
Well, let's get right into it, man. 2014, you exit the Jeff Brownell Racing team, move on over to Heinke Baldwin Racing. Great opportunity for you there. Of course, you had great success with the Brownell team in your time there as well. Curious to know, how high were the expectations in moving over to HBR? I know it was a new team, but how high were those expectations making that move?
I'll tell you what, it's kind of funny. Moving over, I fully expected to have success, but it's one of them things. At the end of the day, you really don't know until you get into it. And honestly, the success we had last year exceeded what I could have even dreamed. Just as a first-year deal. Really a building season for us all year long. We were still, kind of behind the eight ball at times, trying to get equipment together and keep up with everything. And to have the type of year that we had makes me really excited about 2015.
And to go back, talking about 2014, I mean, how at the end of the day, how do you guys evaluate your first season with the new team?
It was definitely a learning year. We won some big races at the beginning of the year, but at the same time, we were really struggling for the consistency and the week-to-week speed that we were looking for, and I think we found that towards the end of the year. And we really did have a phenomenal year, probably the best year I've ever had, with the exception of a couple mechanical failures, a couple real minor things. Probably as close to one of the perfect modified seasons you could have.
Now, Matt, you also drove the Norm Hansen 357 car. Tell us what it was like for racing for Norm, and what kind of schedule you have going with that car again this year.
I'll tell you what, that was a lot of fun. Kind of nice change of pace. I'd always hit a lot of the extracurricular shows, I like to call them, before, but it was nice being able to step away from, working on my 9H all day and just get my pickup or get my fiance's car and just drive down to the races. And when I get there, I'll tell you what, them guys do an awesome job. That car was perfectly prepared. Every time I showed up, I didn't have to do anything. They had everything on the money. Just a real pleasure to drive for them. Had a lot of success with them as well. Look forward to running some shows for them again this year. We haven't actually talked about a schedule or anything like that, but it's getting about that time. We got to start thinking about it.
Now, you ran the Super Dirt Series, the ROC, and the most of the open shows in 2014. Do you enjoy racing that much, or does it get to a point where the schedule is just so hectic that it's hard keeping up?
I do. I enjoy to race as much as I can. There are a couple stretches here and there where, there's definitely some long weeks, long months, but, it's what I love to do, and as long as I can keep doing it, I'm going to keep doing it.
Now, with you starting in go-karts and then moving into the four-cylinder class at Black Rock and the Bandits, did you ever imagine that you would be in the position that you are today?
No, never. I grew up just loving to go to the races, watch the races, and idolize a lot of the guys that I'm racing against today. Would have never dreamed that I'd be in a situation I'm in. And would have never dreamed I'd even have a tenth of the success I've had. I've just been really fortunate to be surrounded by a lot of good people throughout my career, and it's really been a fortunate situation for me. Very blessed.
Now, who are some of the guys that you looked up to back then? Who are some of the guys that you may be racing now that you may have held up in the spotlight then?
Back then I just loved the racing itself. Whether it be any of the Johnsons, Alan, Danny, Jack, Brad, Bob, Billy Decker, all of them. I just loved the way they all raced, and loved going to the races and watching them. And I'm sure in one way or another, I learned from all of them just watching them throughout the years.
Now, Matt, you guys, this season, you guys caught fire at Canandaigua Motorsports Park, and I want to say it was somewhere around halfway through the year. You guys just went on a tear there. Was that kind of a turning point for the team, or did you guys just catch on something and kind of kept riding that train until you had to figure it back out?
Well, I mean, it's kind of a matter of, there's a certain way I like a car to drive and feel when I'm at Canandaigua. And we probably started the first half of the season at Canandaigua, probably the worst I've been there in 5, 6, 7 years. I mean, just go home at night dejected, knowing we needed to do something, knowing the car didn't feel and drive the way I wanted it to. And we just kept working on it. I mean, new team, new cars, different cars. And finally, it seemed like I finally clicked on something and got that comfort feel. And then probably the second half of the season went on one of the hottest streaks I've ever had at Canandaigua. So it was really a tale of two seasons. Probably one of the worst first half of seasons I've ever had, and one of the best second half of seasons I've ever had.
And I know that a part of that big change was you moving from the Bicknell to the Troyer. You guys had pretty good success right out of the box, so I'm wondering, was there any real big changes that you had to make to your driving style or even setups? I mean, they are different chassis, but you guys seem to catch it right out the bat.
Yeah, I mean, Troyer builds a great race car. It shows we had a ton of success, won 25 races this year, but as far as what I was used to, setting up my Bicknell, I mean, the Troyer definitely likes a different setup than my Bicknell did. And like I said, we had an enormous amount of success the first half of the season, but I still could never get that real feel I was looking for, and I really couldn't find it at Canandaigua. And, it was a work in progress. We just kept working at it, work week in, work week out, and we were finally able to continue that success, the second half of the season, pretty much everywhere, but at Canandaigua, we really, really got a nice feel for the car, and basically just got it to a point where that's where I like, and that's how I like my cars to feel, and I think the results spoke for themselves.
Does it matter for you, Matt, at Canandaigua, whether it's the bottom or the top? Because I'll tell you, to watch you guys, especially in turn 3 and 4, to watch you guys sail around the top in 3 and 4, I mean, that's got to be a feeling like none other. But, for you, does it matter, one groove or the other, or is it just how the track is that night?
Yeah, it doesn't matter. Some nights it seems like the top's the way to go, and some nights it's the bottom. A lot of nights it might be the top of one end and the bottom of the other. You pretty much gotta run where the track wants you to run. And coming up through traffic, I mean, there are a lot of nights we started 18th. You just get to a point where you got to run wherever the car in front of you is not running, or you're not going to get to the front.
And to talk about Canandaigua Motorsports Park, I mean, when you look at all the different tracks, in particular the ones that run on Saturday night, I mean, you've got a lot of big guys that run at Fulton on a weekly basis, your teammate being one of them. But as far as competition level, is Canandaigua the most competitive field on a Saturday night?
I don't know. All the tracks are competitive. Canandaigua was no different. There's a lot of good guys, a lot of experience, a lot of feature wins, and from what I hear, it's only going to get tougher this year. But it's kind of one of them deals. I love racing at Canandaigua. I grew up going to Canandaigua. That's kind of like my home track, and it's kind of same situation as my teammate Jimmy's in. He grew up going to Fulton. It's right up the street from him, and as much as he likes racing at Canandaigua, he considers Fulton his home track, and as much as I consider or like racing at Fulton, I consider Canandaigua my home track. It's just kind of both where we grew up and where we like to race.
I mean, you've had a pretty good amount of success at Fulton yourself over the years.
Yeah, I have. I really like racing at Fulton, but there were years that I went to Fulton on Saturday nights, and it's just not home. My family lives close to Canandaigua. I have friends in the Canandaigua area. I've been going to Canandaigua since I was a toddler, or maybe even smaller. So, it's been 30 years I've been going to Canandaigua probably. So it's just become second nature.
And you guys running, this past season, you guys had a weekly track each night of the weekend. Do those plans look similar for 2015?
Yeah, I mean, I haven't really got into thinking about it too much, but I honestly really hadn't considered going anywhere else. I mean, it's looking like we're going to run Brewerton on Fridays, Canandaigua on Saturdays, and Utica on Sundays again.
All right, well, we'll have more with Matt Sheppard here on Turn 5 Live here on the Performance Motorsports Network. Right after this, you're listening to Turn 5 Live on PMN.
How would you like to win a brand new Corvette? Larry O's got all the details.
Enter America's #1 dream car giveaway contest at winyournewcar.com. That's right, winyournewcar.com. Complete the puzzle the fastest and win a new Corvette tax-free delivered to your door. Come on, stop dreaming and start driving with winyournewcar.com.
We're growing like crazy and need account reps who know their way around agencies, the internet, and social media. Got connections? Or do you know how to get to the decision makers? Are you fearless? We need you. Internet radio, or as we call it, wireless mobile radio, is rapidly becoming the place to be with almost limitless income potential. So contact us to get involved with the fastest growing professionally produced group of internet radio stations in the world. Your imagination is the only limit here. Call 717-749-0444. That's 717-749-0444. Or you can email us at scorpionradiogroup@gmail.com. You want to ask for Sue.
So you finally arrived at the sweet spot in your life. The kids are raised and gone. You have free time, and it's finally time to do something for you. If you've ever considered owning a Corvette but have been putting it off for years, now is the time to act. Isn't this the time to finally get that Corvette you always wanted and drooled and dreamed over? Well, grab the little lady by the hand and take her to Cooper Corvettes. They're conveniently located on Route 1 just off of I-95 and just north of the Marine Corps base. They have lots of pampered and well-maintained Corvettes in inventory. And if they don't have what you want, they'll find it. From classic Stingrays to modern-day cars, Cooper is your one-stop shop. And speaking of shops, they service what they sell. And even if you didn't buy a Cooper Corvette, they'll service your Corvette anyway. Become part of the Cooper Corvette family. Call them at 703-445-1483. That's 703-445-1483. And on the web at coopercorvettes.com. That's coopercorvettes.com, American pride and countrywide.
You wouldn't trust your taxes to an uncertified accountant, so why trust your vehicle to an uncertified technician? You have to take your car into the shop. Look for the blue and white ASE sign. That ASE Blue Seal means the shop employs technicians certified by the National Institute for Automotive Service Excellence. ASE certification is proof that technicians have the knowledge and experience to fix your vehicle right the first time. For more information on finding an ASE Blue Seal of Excellence facility, visit the website at www.ase.com.
Creekside Entertainment is the official DJ and photo booth of Turn 5 Live. Stuart Ovens and his staff at Creekside Entertainment are sure to provide you with the very best DJ and photo booth entertainment on the market in the Finger Lakes. Call Stu at 315-481-9700 or CreeksideEntertainmentDJ.com. Book your party or photo booth with Creekside Entertainment today.
Now back to the crew whose studio was named after a dinner entree. Here's Stephen, Clint, and Brad.
Welcome back, race fans, to Turn 5 Live here on the Performance Motorsports Network. Steve Ovens, Clint Miller, Brad Ovens coming to you on a Tuesday night. I've got Matt Sheppard on the line here from Heinke Baldwin Racing. And Clint, take it away, my friend.
Hey, man. Racing Super Dirt Week and going forward, do you guys feel like you have a good starting point for success there in the future at Syracuse?
For sure. I mean, first year in Detroit up there, came out of the box, fast time, won the heat, almost won the race. It was almost a perfect week for us. You can't get a much better start than that. Probably one of the most successful weeks I've ever had in my career up there.
Yeah, I mean, Syracuse is the obviously the Daytona 500 of the dirt world, pretty much. We just talked about Syracuse next year in 2015. What will it take to take that extra step to get by the likes of Billy Decker and Brett Hearn for the Super Dirt Series title in 2015?
Basically do exactly what we did this year, but have less mechanical failures. We had one more DNF than both those guys did, and you know what that equals. We only lost by 6 points, even though we had one more DNF. We pretty much outran them all year long. We just you got to finish up front, but first you got to finish.
And looking back, it seemed like the axle at Fonda was kind of what put you guys in the position going to the World Finals. But at the same time, going to the World Finals, I mean, you guys just had to put it all out on the line and see how the points shook themselves out.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. Fonda was a big killer. I think we lost like 90 points there. Just going from where we were running to where we finished. But the same could be said about anything. We had a poor qualifying effort for last night at Charlotte. I think we only needed to finish like 2 spots better to win the title, and that's tough to do there when you start 19th. So we just missed it in qualifying. We qualified all right the first night and had a decent run, but we didn't qualify well the second night. Not that the car was any better or worse. I don't really know what happened, but we missed it a little bit there. I mean, we can look back to Lebanon Valley. We had a drivetrain issue. It took us from a top 5 run to I don't know where we finished, 25th or something. When the points are that close at the end of the year, you could probably go back and look at 50% of the races and just say, hey, if I'd finished 1 stop better in the heat race or 1 stop better in the feature, it makes all the difference. But can't worry about that at this point. We're just gonna, work on the program. We have been all winter and just go at it again this season and hopefully have a better outcome.
What's it like for you as a driver, Matt, when you hear guys from the World of Outlaw late model tour and the World of Outlaw sprint cars, when they're at the World Finals and they talk about wanting to go and watch you guys in the dirt modifieds because, that's the one time a year where all 3 of those divisions are on the same card. And, I mean, it's got to be pretty neat to hear them say that they're watching, keeping a close eye on your guys' racing.
I think it just says a lot about the dirt modifieds in general. It just says, it talks about the quality of show, the quality of racing, the coolness of the cars, the quality of drivers. We hear it all the time. Even when we go to, Volusia in February, there are a lot of fans down there that don't get to see us on a regular basis. And they make a point every year to come over and say, man, we love them. We can watch you guys on TV, and you guys come down here. And Charlotte's the same story. there's a lot of modified fans in Charlotte, but there's also a lot of fans that get to watch us race that don't typically get to watch us race. And it seems like it's always a positive feedback.
Is the dirt modifieds, is that where you see yourself? It's always hard to project what the future holds, but if you looked at even like a 5-year plan, is dirt modifieds where you want to be, or do you have any aspirations of going to a different division or anything of that sort?
I don't know. I love racing in general, but I've had a good career. I've made a good career out of driving a dirt modified. I'm very fortunate to be teamed up with HBR. Great team there. I'm not getting any younger. I'll be 33 this year, so, it's not something I really think about. I kind of think about what I'm doing now, and when I look down the road, when I was a kid, I'd dream about bigger and better, but, it's not really necessarily a dream I have at this point in my life, is to go into something else. If an opportunity arose, I would definitely take a look at it. But I'm very happy where I am and with the team I'm with and all of that, sort of stuff.
You talk about the team that you're with, and you have a teammate in Jimmy Phelps at HBR. He announced, and the team announced earlier in the winter, that he's going to be driving the same equipment and at his weekly shows that he does on the series. What do you think that's going to do for him?
I think it'll make the whole team better. It can't be easy jumping out of one car and into the other car. It can be done, but at the same token, it's just not the same as getting in and out of the same car every night. We both have a pretty much equal amount of equipment sitting there, but he only gets an opportunity to run his stuff 25 or 30 times a year, where I'm running it closer to 75 or 80. I think it'll just work out better, get us in a better flow, be able to share knowledge a little better. Not that we didn't before, but, the stuff's sitting there. It should be raced, I think.
Now, I got one more question for you here, Matt. We were just talking about different cars and stepping into one or the other. We've kind of got an ongoing question about cars and whatnot. And explain to us your feel for the sail panels. Do they make a difference? Don't they make a difference? Like them, hate them? What's your feeling on those?
I dislike them. I think it takes a little bit of the driver ability out. I think it definitely makes the cars tighter and have more side bite when you're going into the corner, which, if you can get it to turn, it makes it easier to drive. And to tell you the truth, I think everything about them is a pain in the butt. They're big, they're clubby, it's harder to wash the car, you're putting them on, you're putting them off. I'm not a fan at all.
Well, they've got, talking about, the modified rules that they're looking at running at Black Rock this year, and making the sail panels available to guys that may want to put them on. You've had a few runs there at Black Rock in the modified. I'm not sure if it would be more hassle than what you would gain out of it.
I don't know. A few years ago, I think I won a race there with sail panels and without. I think you're going to want to have them. There's going to be more chance of having a disadvantage without them. Any little advantage you can get as long as you can get your car to turn into the corner with them on. I just dislike them. I think they're a hassle. Like I said, I think it takes a little bit of the driver's ability out. just not a big fan. I mean, it's even harder to get in and out of the car with a sail panel on in the window. Just really don't care for them.
And talking about changes that some tracks are have talked about making or have already made, Utica Rome going to be going to Hoosiers this year. Is how big of a change is that going to be for guys running on the Hoosier rubber at Utica?
I'll tell you what, I am so excited about being able to go to Utica on Sunday nights without switching everything from Hoosiers to American Racers and taking the windows off and putting the sail panels on. I mean, on top of the normal maintenance, we probably spend another, 2 hours of Sunday just switching tires in and out and switching car setups and, taking windows off and putting sail panels on. Like I said, I mean, we do this 90 times a year. It's enough work as it is. I'm excited. I'll be able to take my car right from Canandaigua, bring it home, wash it, service it, load it right back in the trailer, and head to Utica and run it again. I'm really excited about that.
Well, Matt, we really appreciate your time joining us on the show tonight and giving us, 2 awesome segments talking dirt modifieds here. I know you can't do it without a great team of, from HBR and your sponsors, and we'll give you a chance to talk about those folks.
Yeah, I mean, ton of great people. Obviously my car owner, Al Heinke, the whole HBR team, got a ton of guys that work hard over there. I could go on for 20 minutes naming them all here. Really good, hard-working guys. Obviously, Toyota Race Cars, Bob Bruno Racing Engines. We got Pat Morrison doing our small block stuff. Integra Racing Shocks, obviously, FX Repair, Chevy, Camaro Slate. Just a great bunch of people, and couldn't do it without any of them.
Well, Matt, we wish you a lot of luck in 2015. I know you guys will be headed to Golden Isles in Florida soon, so good luck to you, and we'll see you back up here in New York.
All right, sounds good. Thanks, guys.
All right, that's Matt Sheppard, driver of the HBR 9H Troyer, and good, Clint, awesome interview there. We're going to get Rocky Warner on the horn here. He'll be our next interview in the next segment, but really good stuff there with Matt. We're going to get Rocky Warner on the line after this quick break. You're listening to Turn 5 Live here on the Performance Motorsports Network.
How would you like to win a brand new Corvette? Larry O's got all the details.
In the Pits Media is proud to present its newest partner, WinYourNewCar.com. That's right, you now can enter the #1 American Dream Car Contest giveaway at WinYourNewCar.com. Complete the puzzle the fastest and win a new Corvette tax-free, delivered to your door. Come on. Stop dreaming. Start driving with WinYourNewCar.com.
Car problems? You can trust your local Cotman man. Cotman has a 40-year history as a leader in car repair and making happy, satisfied customers. Whatever's wrong with your car, SUV, or truck, Cotman will check it out free using state-of-the-art diagnostic equipment. Don't take chances with your car. Bring it to Cotman and let your local Cotman man show you why they are America's transmission and total auto care experts. Visit Cotman.com to download money-saving coupons. Cotman. Real service, real fast.
You know that phone call is going to come at the worst possible time, right at the end of the game. Fourth quarter, fourth down, and 1 yard to go. They're piling up, but you can't watch that. You got to get that car off the road. This could have been prevented if you have taken advantage of Cotman's free TransCheck 21. Here's a chance to have us look at your car and head off any problems that could happen that could interrupt that game. Again, it's a free check. Come see us.
See Leonard and the fine folks at Cotman of Manassas, 9113 Mathis Avenue in Manassas. Give them a call at 703-365-7200.
Before a disaster turns your family's world upside down, it's up to you to be ready. Get a kit, make a plan, be informed. Learn how at www.ready.gov. Brought to you by the Federal Emergency Management Agency and the Ad Council.
If you're a gearhead, you probably go online to those hot rod superstores, drooling over the chrome and speed goodies until you find just the right item for your muscle car, tuner car, truck. But what do you do when it comes to fixing the mom mobile? If you're like most do-it-yourselfers, you head to the strip mall parts store and talk to the "Do you want fries with that?" kid behind the counter. Hold on, Bunky. You did you stop to think where those chain stores are getting the parts that you're installing in the vehicle that's used to transport your family everywhere? They get the cheapest suppliers they can find to sell you the parts at bargain prices. Their limited lifetime warranties? What a joke. Remember the last time Mom's car broke down? You heard about that one for weeks. Don't take that chance again. Excelsior Racing has the quality parts you need for your family vehicle. Parts that you can install knowing you're getting the best for your family. Excelsior Racing. Quality parts, personalized service, affordable pricing, fast to you direct. Excelsior Racing. Online at excelsiorracing.com or call 502-909-2034.
Hi, everybody. This is Getty Lee for RAD. To many of us, drunk driving is something that other people do. Certainly not one of our friends or relatives would do such a thing. When you see someone who's had too much to drink, about to get into a car, urge them to give up the keys and find alternate transportation. Always choose a designated driver. Remember, music lives, you should too.
A public service message brought to you by the U.S. Department of Transportation, RAD, the National Association of Broadcasters, and the Ad Council.
Hey, race fans, this is Oswego Speedway Public Relations Director Dan Kampusinski, and you're listening to Turn 5 Live.
Yes, you are listening to Turn 5 Live here on a Tuesday night here on the Performance Motorsports Network. Stephen, Clint, and Brad joining in just like we do always every single Tuesday night here on PMN. Let's go to the hotline, bring in our next guest for tonight's show, and let's bring in Rocky Warner, 2014 Grit Racing Series champion. Rocky, congratulations to you. Man, has it set in yet, just what you were able to accomplish this year?
Yeah, it has to an extent, you know what I mean? We had a heck of a year, you know what I mean? Won the Grit Championship, you know what I mean? And then we won the in-between, there's a series inside of the Grit was the VP Triple Crown. Won that, luckily, because they canceled the last one, and we ended up wrecking out of us. We probably would have lost it, but we won that, and then we won the Glen Ridge track title and then the Fonda track title. So it was, definitely a season to sit back and reflect on and be able to enjoy a little bit, maybe tell your grandkids about.
Well, that's for sure. I mean, all of those accolades for this past season, I mean, is there one that stands out? I mean, you've got track titles, you had the touring series title, you won some big I mean, is there any one of those that really kind of stands out above the rest?
Being able to go out on the road and win races, obviously. We did a little bit last year, and we did a lot this year. We at home, we didn't have a whole lot of success. We obviously won championships. We were just kind of consistent. We won the road, and I think we won 6 races under the Grit, and would have had 7 within if we hit the tire there, the last one at 5 Mile Point. I think, honestly, the one I talk about the most probably of this year would probably be the Black Rock win, the Yates County.
And that was, I mean, honestly, that was an incredible run. I mean, you did have a lot of laps to recover from, but, man, I mean, I know in the interview I got to do with you after the race, I mean, you were at that point when the accident happened on lap 2, I think it was, or maybe it was lap 1. I mean, I remember you telling me, I was kind of bad about that.
Yeah, it was, obviously it kind of stinks to me. As a driver, you like to think you can drive from the back and go to the front, anytime you wanted to, but it's just not that easy in this crate class. It's filled with a lot of very good drivers. We all have pretty close to equal equipment, and it's just like I said, it's not an easy task. You know what I mean? So to be sitting there, starting in the middle of the pack and go to the rear, and obviously, Dave Marcatelli went back there with me, so to have 2 of us, your kind of worst fears would be battling each other and not going to the front. Luckily, we had a real long green run. Everything kind of worked in our favor to get back to the front. We went with a little bit harder tire than we usually do, but a little softer than I wanted to. Like I said, that long green run kind of helped out. I kind of felt the tires going away, so I started saving the tires a little bit. And you could see guys were abusing them. Kind of, the numbers were getting bigger and bigger. And the yellow came out, and with the first yellow after that, second yellow total came out, and we were, the lap cars were in there. But we were up close to the top 10. So we were. It was a fun race, it meant a lot to me. It was the first 100 lap it went in, and like I said, it was a pretty big accomplishment for us, for the whole team.
Yeah, Steven and I were in the tower watching the race, and it was one of the most entertaining races I know that I've watched in a long time. And Steven too, we were both kind of jumping up and down, going, "Oh my God, did you see that?" And I told Steven, I think one of the later cautions, that the 18 of Pavlik and Brady Fulton, before his accident took him out, they would get away from you with the first 4 or 5 laps, and now I understand why, because you had the little harder tire on, and it took a few laps for it to come back in, but after 5 or 6 laps, you were able to reel them right back in.
Yeah, actually, I think Casey in the 18 car, actually I got to credit him with part of the win. We got the third, and we actually were battling with Nick Guerreri there. He was a lap car trying to stay on the lead lap or his lap back, and I can't really blame him. He was as fast as the leader was, but it was holding up our progression because we wanted on the bottom, But their yellow come out. We were third, and he was fourth, and then he passed us on the outside. Showed us the outside groove was there, put me back to fourth, and then when the next yellow come out, put me in fourth and him in third, and I got to run the top, and I ended up getting a clear line around them guys, getting up to second. And just, happened the top side groove came in late in the race, and we were just kind of up there, and the car was just, unbelievable on rails. It was, great car. And like I said, a lot of times in races are a lot about luck. And everything played in our favor. I mean, like I said, maybe the accident happened for a reason, you know what I mean? And sometimes things happen like that. And like I said, I'd rather be lucky than good any day, and we had a lot of luck on our side that day.
Any of your limited time in the modified, does that help you at all with your sportsman program?
I'd like to say yes, but I only ran the modified at Glen Ridge, and people think I ran a whole season, but I really didn't. We ran we ran maybe 8 races with a big block. Obviously any modified experience helps out, but it's not, I don't look at it as a whole season, we had a whole season of traveling around like I like to travel around, you know what I mean? I would credit more success to the fact that I do travel around when Fonda rains out. The car will sit in the trailer. I go to Fulton, or I go wherever I can go to race. Beginning of the season, I try to get sharpened up. I look for races down in New Jersey or wherever when they start racing. I go down in March and April. I go down to New Jersey. It's a losing proposition as far as money goes. But to me, I kind of look at it as a little advantage over having everybody else, because when they go out to Fonda or Glen Ridge or wherever track's your opening track, that's their first time seating in the car. Me, I've already been into a car. I got to kind of set up. The bars are broken in, and I got some laps in my belt before April hits. So I wouldn't really attribute to my success to the modified, because, like I said, I only ran a half a year with a big block, and I ran the rest of the season with a crate motor in the modified. So, but like I said, I would attribute it more to traveling around and being acquainted and learning how to drive different tracks.
Rocky, when a guy like yourself has the success that you had in 2014. I think it's just natural for people to want to ask about, does he plan on moving up or anything of that sort? And I've heard your take on this before, but I'd like you to talk to our fans about, your feelings on, maybe why moving up isn't the best option for your team.
Well, my team I'm with now, it's kind of we're at a decent budget we're at a probably above average budget for a sportsman team. I would say, you know what I mean? We have 2 complete cars, so obviously most guys have 1. So I would say we're above average on that, you know what I mean? But a modified budget by no means, you know what I mean? It takes a lot to run modified. You got to think when you step into the modified, you got to think what you're running against, you know what I mean? You got talent like Stuart Friesen and Matt Sheppard and the guys like that, Brett Hearn. Them guys have talent and money backing them. Then you got guys like have talent and money as far as like Larry White. I went up there for a motor dyno earlier in the season, and I'm walking through the shop, and they got their stackers parked inside their garage with their 14 race cars, their shock dyno, their engine builder, all right in one building. You know what I mean? It's like, for me to come out of my little shop in Fonda with 1 or 2 cars with a used modified motor to race against that, is it really logical to move up to modifieds? I mean, yeah, I think it's every driver's dream to go race, the biggest class you can race in your dirt racing, late model racing, dirt modified. And I would love to do that. You know what I mean? If I can go out and race against Matt Sheppard or Stewie and be in the same lap as them guys, I'd be honored. You know what I mean? I really would. But to me, it's not logical as far as a budget with the team I'm with now. Any team, really. I mean, to buy some of these used tires and go race against them just isn't really feasible.
And there's a lot of, it seems like in the past couple of years, there's been a lot of good options for the sportsman guys. If you want to go out and travel a little bit, there's options for you to go and do that. Sounds like there's going to be more options in 2015 for a sportsman guy that wants to go out and travel a little bit. So, I mean, really, it's not that bad of a scenario to be in a crate sportsman right now.
No, and it's really not. And that's the thing, too. They made it economical where you can run a sportsman car and actually not make a living off of it, but, make a decent buck, or you're not going broke racing. You know what I mean? The whole deal with rolling wheels, if it pans out, I'm hoping it does. I actually picked up a ride last week here for the rolling wheels and Woodhull Speedways to race that this year. So I'm pretty pumped about, being able to go out that way and race consistently. And like I said, it's kind of been you're right. You're saying, Glen Ridge every week was paying $1,000 a win last year. You know what I mean? I only won a couple of them, but still the point being is that the people are real. The promoters are realizing that the sportsmen, do bring a lot of people, bring big car counts, and it's okay to pay us a little bit more. We don't need modified type pay, but paying us $500-$600 to win is plenty. You know what I mean? And you're going to get 25, 30 cars. Where you look at most of the modified fields, there's not many modified fields. You can have 24.
Well, you're absolutely right about that. Race fans listening tonight, if you want to ask a question for Rocky Warner, you can send us your questions on the Turn 5 Racing Podcast Facebook page, or you can send them to us on Twitter at Turn 5 Podcast. We're going to have more with Rocky Warner after this short break. You're listening to Turn 5 Live on the Performance Motorsports Network.
How would you like to win a brand new Corvette? Larry O's got all the details.
WinYourNewCar.com. Enter America's #1 dream car giveaway contest. At WinYourNewCar.com, complete the puzzle the fastest and win a new Corvette tax-free. Come on, stop dreaming, start driving with WinYourNewCar.com.
Car problems? You can trust your local Cotman man. Cotman has a 40-year history as a leader in car repair and making happy, satisfied customers. Whatever's wrong with your car, SUV, or truck, Cotman will check it out free using state-of-the-art diagnostic equipment. Don't take chances with your car. Bring it to Cotman and let your local Cotman man show you why they are America's transmission and total auto care experts. Visit Cotman.com to download money-saving coupons. Cotman. Real service, real fast.
You know that phone call is going to come at the worst possible time, right at the end of the game. Fourth quarter, fourth down, and 1 yard to go. They're piling up, but you can't watch that. You got to get that car off the road. This could have been prevented if you have taken advantage of Cotman's free TransCheck 21. Here's a chance to have us look at your car and head off any problems that could happen that could interrupt that game. Again, it's a free check. Come see us.
See Leonard and the fine folks at Cotman of Manassas, 9113 Mathis Avenue in Manassas. Give them a call at 703-365-7200.
Media sales professionals with agency experience. If you're frustrated with your current position, unrealistic quotas, and inept management, if you're a sales machine and you simply will not take no as an acceptable reply, if you're looking for a rapidly growing company with unlimited sales potential for commissions in the hundreds of thousands of dollars, if you're searching for a high-tech, forward-looking, laid-back, but extremely professional organization who appreciate your skills and dedication, we have your next opportunity. Scorpion Radio Group is building a sales team of self-starters who are motivated. Your imagination is the only limit here. Call 717-749-0444 or email us at scorpionradiogroup@gmail.com. That's 717-749-0444 and ask for Sue.
Hi, this is Jens Scott from Summit Point Kart in Summit Point, West Virginia. If you're looking for a real racing experience on a real racetrack, come out to Summit Point Kart this weekend. For as little as $25, you can get your racing career started. New this year, Summit Point Kart offers the RX 250 capable of over 75 miles an hour. We're open every Friday from 5 p.m. till 9 p.m., Saturday from noon till 10 p.m., and Sunday from noon till 9 p.m. For more information, go to our website, summitpointkartwithak.com, or you can call us at 304-725-5270. Summit Point Kart, your East Coast karting center.
Hi, race fans. This is Jeremy Trank, and now back to Stephen, Clint, and Brad.
Welcome back, race fans, to Turn 5 Live here on the Performance Motorsports Network. Steve Ovens, Clint Miller, Brad Ovens joining you on a Tuesday night. Got Rocky Warner on the line, 2014 Grit Racing Series champion. And Rocky, I want to talk about Syracuse. I mean, for years, it's been watch out for Rocky Warner on the Moody Mile, and I know that even goes back to your days in the pro stock. Talk to us about, I mean, Syracuse can be an intimidating place for a driver, and boy, you really made a name for yourself at that place the last couple of years.
Yeah, honestly, like I said, a lot of it was luck. My first year in the pro stock, I didn't even qualify. You know what I mean? A lot of guys don't realize it, 'cause I was kind of racing street stock at the time. I got a pro stock end of the year. I kind of threw it together quick, went up there, didn't even qualify. So, the success of saying we just were natural at it, I can't give it that. We went up there again, and we had a good piece underneath us. We had an EMS chassis. Thing like the track, it was a little tight, and we got actually a really good qualifying. We started third in the feature, and got a good shift. When some guys were shifting, some guys weren't. They weren't really sure what to do. We kind of got lucky and hit it right, and got the good start and got to the lead early. And then Jeremy Pitts and I, we had a good battle in the front, and won my first pro stock race in 2010. That was rubbered up, and then after that, kind of the track was going, ever since then, since 2010, the last couple, 3-4 years has been a racy racetrack more, I would say, kind of slick and wide and be able to move around, do two grooves. And we had a tight race car with pushing, and we ended up getting pushed up and running the high groove, and finding a high groove up there. And, starting in the back, like I said, we qualified poor. We started, I think, 11th, the last Fortune race we won. And, starting in the back, you kind of get a little incentive because, guys didn't want to call at the bottom. We didn't know the tops there. They were on the radios in the car. So we got pushed up to the top groove. It worked, and we made our way to the front. And it's kind of, you look like a hero coming from the back doing that. Like I said, a lot of it was luck, finding the top groove when nobody even knew it was out there, and then making it work, And this year, last year we had, obviously our run-in coming from 22nd up to second, going for the win, and we had a little run-in and a restart there. And then this year was just a massacre. We totally flunked. We looked at it. We looked forward to it so much. We had a good car. We just had no speed. We kind of out of the box. We were slow. We kept working on trying to get speed in the car. I mean, we were struggled. The car handled decent, just couldn't get no speed to the car. So and then wrecking in practice right before the feature obviously took us out of any contention of doing anything. Even if we had a good car. We were aerodynamic and power loss. So it was just kind of, it was a waste of time.
You talk about, running different tracks here, and I want to ask you about, running on the red clay at Weedsport. I know that, that for the Dirt Sportsman Classic there, you were one of the guys that seemed to get rolling pretty good there at Weedsport with the new clay.
Yeah, it was good. The one race we had there, I can't remember. We had two. Were they both on the red clay? I can't remember.
I believe later on in the year was when they had put the red clay on, probably for the Super Dirt Week race.
The tire combination for this with the dirt sport. The first one I think was modified type wheels. I think the second one was the sportsman wheels. I believe. I'm thinking. I can't remember 100%, but I know the second one we kind of struggled. We were fast, but we didn't have a lot of grip. I don't know if I missed the setup or it was just the tires and wheels versus the clay. It seemed like we weren't where we needed to be. We did have a top 5 car, and I think we got wrecked out of it a couple of times, I believe, at the end. So, I like it. Obviously, they're doing a lot of big things with it. It's a fun, racy racetrack, which is kind of cool, you know what I mean? You don't get a lot of racetracks where you can make multiple lanes and make things work like that. And, that's what I like about the play. It does get a little hairy on the turn 4, come up turn 4, and somebody in the bottom starts coming up and running the top side. It gets a little hairy, but the clay itself, I think, after getting worked in this winter, I think it's going to be a big thing next year.
Rocky, talk to us about 2015. I'm sure you guys are at the point where you're, getting the car together, looking at, what you guys are going to be doing this year. And actually, I saw that you were looking to move some equipment, too.
Yeah, well, that's part of the deal. The equipment's not mine. That's Jake Spraker's deal. I just advertise it for him because he doesn't really have he don't have a Facebook or nothing, so I put it up there for him. But we got a normal deal going with Ray with the 79 cars, the West End towing cars, which we're super excited about, running our local home tracks on Fridays and Saturdays, and whatever grit races he wants to run. And then with the deal with Rolling Wheels and Utica-Rome opening up, Jake Spraker and I put a deal together to run Crate Sportsman at Utica-Rome and Rolling Wheels to capitalize on having, we're going to be busy, obviously, run 3-4 nights a week. Every week is going to be tough, but I think we're up for the challenge. The guys are excited about it. We're actually at the West End shop right now, stripping the car down, getting ready to go to powder coat. We're a little behind, but to me, I work my guys a lot during the summertime, so I kind of give them off after the first year, and we're just getting back into now and getting these cars ready to go.
Are you guys going to be starting your year at Orange County for the Brett Deyo show?
Usually Brett doesn't run crate-only shows. Is it a crate-only show or not? I'm not really sure. I don't know. I know we had the Gobbler in some early April, or I can't really remember when the Gobbler is supposed to be. That's supposed to be a makeup race we were already at and drew for. So we'll probably be at that one. I don't know. A lot of guys, it seems kind of crazy, but a lot of tracks and series don't have their schedules all yet. It's kind of, for me, it kind of makes it tough because I like to plan, and obviously I'm two different teams. We've got to kind of work with each other. So not having schedules out kind of stinks, but I understand where they're coming from. They got to clear their dates, and they're trying to kind of check against everybody else. It's kind of like a chess game these guys are playing. But whatever opens up, or whatever either car or team wants to go, I'll be there. You know what I mean? I like to race. At those races right now, I'd go to them. I don't care how cold it is. You know what I mean? I like to race. So we'll be as many as we can that are feasible. As far as pay, we can't go race for $200 in New Jersey, obviously, but if it's feasible where we can kind of break even with gas going down there, then we'll probably be there.
Well, we did have a question come in on Facebook for you, Rocky, so I'm going to field that question out to you. And came from a guy named Dylan. I'll just lead off with that for you. He wants to know if Rocky's going to let me win at the RC track this weekend.
I tell you what, Dylan at the RC car track, I didn't know Dylan much before last year. We talked a little bit at the RC track we're going to this weekend, and I tell you, that kid is the Stuart Friesen or Matt Sheppard of RC car racing. He's a heck of a wheel, and honestly, I hear it transfers over to the real deal. If I owned my own race car, I'd probably try him out in it because he's a heck of a wheel behind the wheel of an RC car. But I'd like to let me win. You know what I mean? I'm not the best RC car shoe, so I just do it. It kills a lot of time in the wintertime. When most guys twiddle their thumbs or do what they're supposed to be doing, like work on their cars. I waste a bunch of time and money on RC cars. So, but yeah, that's funny, Dylan. But yeah, like I said, he's a heck of a wheel in RC cars, and I appreciate him throwing a question out there, but he'd have to let me win.
Well, Rocky, I know that you can't do it without a great crew behind you and some good marketing partners, and I'll give you a chance to talk about all those good folks behind you.
Yeah, like I said, my deal from last year and continuing on through years to come, Ray and Kirsten and West End Towing, they gave me two great cars to be able to do what I love to do. And you can't say enough about them. You know what I mean? Like I said, awesome equipment, good time, and a lot of times we go race, they don't even get to go and enjoy it with us. So it's kind of my hats off to them, obviously. Wendy's, been with us for years and years. Has been awesome. Of Johnstown and Watertown, Gloversville, Johnstown, Napa Auto Parts, Westmoreland Golf Clubs, Tad Parks, Dunham Spring Shop. Boy, I should have made a list here. There's a bunch of RCT Roofing. I can't remember them all. But I said, and I'm really proud that Jake Spraker picked me up and let me wheel his cars to at Utica Rome and Rolling Wheels. So like I said, it's been an awesome 2014, and I'm actually looking to step it up a little bit for 2015.
Well, we look forward to seeing you out at the racetrack. You're always a guy to keep an eye on, and really appreciate you giving us some of your time on a Tuesday night to talk to us and all of our listeners. So good luck to you in 2015, my friend.
Yes, thank you. Thanks for having us.
All right, that's Rocky Warner, 2014 Grit Racing Series champion. And Clint, let's talk about Rocky here for a second. That is when you go to a show, a sportsman show, and that 79 car rolls through the pit area, that's an instant favorite as soon as they roll through the pit gate.
Oh, yeah, beyond the shadow of a doubt. I've only watched him run a handful of times, but obviously through our Turn 5 page and the traveling that we've been able to do this year, we all know about Rocky Warner, and of course through the Guerreris. And I was really looking forward to seeing him race, and I'm glad I did.
He certainly put on a show for you.
Yeah, he really did, and there's no doubt. I wasn't sure he was going to make it all the way back to the front. I knew he'd probably, I was thinking maybe he'd get back up to 5th or 6th. Obviously, he proved everybody wrong. And a question I was going to ask him, and I didn't even think about it, is the one that we asked Nick Guerreri last week about how the Grit Series pulls the motors so often to keep the competition on the level playing field, and that probably helps keep the fields high too. Yeah, you're absolutely right about that, and they've got the Grit Racing Series banquet coming up here in a few short weeks, and actually speaking about banquets, we were going to get to this toward the end of the show, but speaking of banquets, coming up on Friday, January 30th, Yates County Speedway banquet at the Holiday Inn Riverview in Elmira, New York. Make sure to get your ticket order in to Dan Harpel. Tickets are $35 a piece and $30 for any track staff that wishes to join us at the banquet. You can send those down to P.O. Box 375, Kirkwood, New York, and address that to Yates County Speedway, Dan Harpel. We've got that information up on the Turn 5 Racing Podcast Facebook page, as well as they have it over on the Yates County Speedway Facebook page. All of the information there. You do need to get your tickets in, your ticket order in by Friday, so they do have to get a head count to the Holiday Inn, so make sure to get your ticket order in quick because they are due by Friday. And any questions can be directed to Dan Harpel, and you can catch him on Facebook at Dan Harpel, as well as Yates County Speedway on Facebook. Clint, we're off to a break. On the other side, Grant Hilfiger, owner of the Billy Van Pelt 78 car, 2014 modified track champion at Woodhull Raceway. We'll get Grant on the horn. Just on the other side of this break, you're listening to Turn 5 Live on the Performance Motorsports Network.
How would you like to win a brand new Corvette? Larry O's got all the details.
Enter America's #1 dream car giveaway contest at winyournewcar.com. That's right, winyournewcar.com. Complete the puzzle the fastest and win a new Corvette tax-free delivered to your door. Come on, stop dreaming and start driving with winyournewcar.com.
Car problems? You can trust your local Cotman man. Cotman has a 40-year history as a leader in car repair and making happy, satisfied customers. Whatever's wrong with your car, SUV, or truck, Cotman will check it out free using state-of-the-art diagnostic equipment. Don't take chances with your car. Bring it to Cotman and let your local Cotman man show you why they are America's transmission and total auto care experts. Visit Cotman.com to download money-saving coupons. Cotman. Real service, real fast.
You know that phone call is going to come at the worst possible time, right at the end of the game. 4th quarter, 4th down, and 1 yard to go. They're piling up, but you can't watch that. You got to get that car off the road. This could have been prevented if you have taken advantage of Cotman's free TransCheck 21. Here's a chance to have us look at your car and head off any problems that could happen that could interrupt that game. Again, it's a free check. Come see us.
See Leonard and fine folks at Cotman of Manassas, 9113 Mathis Avenue in Manassas. Give them a call at 703-365-7200.
Media sales professionals with agency experience. If you're frustrated with your current position, unrealistic quotas, and inept management, if you're a sales machine and you simply will not take no as an acceptable reply, if you're looking for a rapidly growing company with unlimited sales potential for commissions in the hundreds of thousands of dollars, if you're searching for a high-tech, forward-looking, laid-back, but extremely professional organization who appreciate your skills and dedication, we have your next opportunity. Scorpion Radio Group is building a sales team of self-starters who are motivated. Your imagination is the only limit here. Call 717-749-0444 or email us at scorpionradiogroup@gmail.com. That's 717-749-0444 and ask for Sue.
Hi, this is Jens Scott from Summit Point Kart in Summit Point, West Virginia. If you're looking for a real racing experience on a real racetrack, come out to Summit Point Kart this weekend. For as little as $25, you can get your racing career started. New this year, Summit Point Kart offers the RX 250 capable of over 75 miles an hour. We're open every Friday from 5 p.m. till 9 p.m., Saturday from noon till 10 p.m., and Sunday from noon till 9 p.m. For more information, go to our website, summitpointkartwithak.com, or you can call us at 304-725-5270. Summit Point Kart, your East Coast karting center.
Now back to the Larry, Curly, and Moe of Dirt Track Racing, Steven, Clint, and Brad.
That's right. That's a title we wear proudly around here on Turn 5 Live. Steve Ovens, Clint Miller, Brad Ovens joining you here on a Tuesday night. Going to the hotline to bring in our next guest, car owner and driver of the 78 machine, Grant Hilfiger, who has himself quite a shoe in the 78 car. Billy Van Pelt and Grant teamed up this year, won the 2014 Modified Track Championship at the Woodhull Raceway. Grant, welcome to Turn 5 Live. It's just awesome to have you on the show.
Thanks. I really appreciate it. It's a pretty good show, and I really enjoy you guys listening to all the other guys, and I'm glad to be a part of it.
Well, we got this as a fan request to bring you in on the show, and really looking forward to it. Let's get right into it. And before 2014, where you and Billy Van Pelt teamed up, I mean, you were racing and they had the team on your own. Talk to us about your history running at Woodhull and your history in racing.
A lot of my racing, I did down at the Penn Speedway. I started in, sportsman car. 2008, 2009, I won the championship down there with a sportsman car, and we really did well. I moved up, to the modified class. I ran a couple races for Brad Gramus when I was having some bad luck. I won a race for him. I came out, and I think 2013 I won a race in my stuff. It's just as my business took off, the racing got harder. These cars, they require a lot of maintenance to do it right. So I wasn't really enjoying being owner, driver, primary sponsor, all of the above as much as I had used to. So, during the off season, I talked to my dad. I said, look, either, I'm parking the cars, or, here's Billy. He's looking for a ride, and Billy's a very well respected driver, really good friend, and I talked to my dad, and he said, well, if that's the route you want to go, you guys better get on the ball because the season's coming. So, sometime late December of last year and early January, me and Billy put together a deal, and that's kind of how that came about.
At that point that you made that decision, I mean, I can't imagine. I mean, when you're bringing on Billy Van Pelt, that you're bringing on a guy who at that point had won 15 track championships at Woodhull at that point. But
yeah,
I'm sure when you make that decision, you don't have in your mind that you guys were going to have the kind of season that you had this year. Yeah,
I mean, going into a car owner's role, I wasn't looking to be a gambler. You know what I mean? Billy's, on top of being, one of the best race car drivers, he's a great guy. So I knew bringing all my equipment and everything to the plate, he would take care of it. He would respect it. So on top of being a great race car driver, he's a great guy. So it was kind of a no-brainer. My dad, growing up, went to Woodhull Raceway, started watching his brother Kurt, and then Billy stepped into the picture, watched him. So me growing up, hearing about racing, that's kind of all I heard about is the Van Pelt. So to have Billy drive my car was, pretty good deal.
Getting Billy Van Pelt to drive one of your modifieds was kind of the equivalent of, Bill Elliott later in his career going with Evernham to Dodge. I mean, you're looking at Ray Evernham starting his own team, wants to be successful, and here comes Bill Elliott, champion, winner, still many years left in his career, and he kind of falls into your lap.
Yeah, it certainly does, and in no way am I counting out that I'm not coming back as a driver, because one day I definitely want to. So this was a great way for me to learn, keep my equipment, sharp, keep it good, keep it updated, because this sport definitely changes quicker than it seems, So if you're out of it for 2 or 3 years, next thing you know, you don't have the right motor combination, your shocks are outdated, your car's outdated. So, along with winning races and having fun, it was a way for me to keep up to speed and focus on my business and grow it still be involved and have a great time.
And that was actually a question that came up on the Turn 5 Racing Podcast Facebook page. Want to thank Jason Cease for sending this question in. He says, I've heard Grant's a pretty good wheelman himself, wondering what his plans are as far as seat time in 2015.
I'd like to say I want to race more, but the logistics of it's pretty tough. Billy keeps the cars at our good friend Wes Campbell's shop out in Knoxville, Pennsylvania, which is, 200 miles away from my house. So realistically, with Woodhull being 215 miles away and the shop 200 miles away, even though when I show up to race, Billy and the crew, have the car there just like I'm the one with a ride. And, it seems like it's easy on my behalf, but it's still a 400-mile round trip. And a lot of the times I'm working Saturdays and Sundays. So I want to say I'm going to race more than I did last year, but the reality is probably the same. I think I raced 8 or 9 times last year and had a good time doing it. I wrecked some stuff for Billy to fix, and we had some good runs too.
Grant, now we already heard that you're confirmed for the Brett Deo show at Orange County. Is that right?
Yeah. Yep. We're definitely going to follow the whole North Tour of the
okay,
Deo
that's
stuff.
what I was going to ask.
Considering, I say that, but if I go out and break 3 cars and blow 5 motors, then I'm out of the game. But I don't foresee that happening. We got great cars and we got a great engine builder, and so I want to follow the whole North Tour. I'm not counting out some of the Southern shows, but then again, Delaware in the middle of the week for a whole crew and driver that has a full-time job just might not happen.
Is the success of the 2014 season that extra push for you guys to want to follow the North Tour, or was that something that you guys thought you might want to do anyway?
The success definitely helped, but anytime you put a gig together like this, you know you're going to be successful. I don't want to seem over cocky or confident, but I'm looking for bigger and better in 2015. We could definitely do it. We found some things midway through the season that got Billy comfortable in my stuff, and it showed. At the beginning of the year, I think the first half of the year we won 2 races, and I think in the last 8 or 9 races we won 4. So, we definitely figured something out. So that really gave us some confidence to go on the road. Plus, how do you not have confidence in Billy as a driver? I think a little bit more was, we always had the backup car, we had the backup motor, but, adding a 3rd car to the fleet definitely gives us a little bit of confidence knowing that we could hit all these shows. So I think that was a bigger factor. When we started as a team, Billy obviously, being a Bicknell guy, said, hey, I know you got a TO and that's great and all, but I'd really got to stay in a Bicknell car. So I purchased a Bicknell car, and we had that car and my 1 TO car, but over the summer and the winter we were able to get rid of my TO car and get 2 more Bicknell cars. So we're pretty well equipped, and nothing's junk and everything's fresh, and it just, when you go out on the road with those guys, you got to have good stuff.
It's gotta, as a car owner, it's got to make you feel good to be in the position you guys are in, pretty much loaded for bear coming into 2015.
Yeah, definitely. Billy's worked really hard in the shop. Him and he's got a crew member, Larry, and his wife, Shannon, that really helps him out a lot. His dad's doing a lot of running, chasing parts for us, and his wife lets him do it, so I got to thank her. But he's really working hard, and he's got the equipment in good shape, and it really does give you a lot of confidence when you have a good driver and good equipment.
Another question coming in on the Turn 5 Racing Podcast Facebook page for you, Grant. They want to know, does the decision at Dundee to bring back the modifieds, does that make Friday nights attractive for you guys at all?
Definitely more than any other track. Obviously, there's the question of let's see it get on its feet, let's see it get going. Running 2 nights a week obviously is tough for a volunteer team too, and going out on the road with the Deo show. So I think we're going to primarily focus on Woodhull and the Brett Deo series, but we're definitely not counting out hitting Black Rock, a handful of times during the year.
And you talk, with the modifieds at Black Rock, they're talking about, adding sail panels to their rules package. And I know that they have them at Woodhull. So what's your experience been with sail panels, Grant?
Actually, all my modified racing has been with sail panels. Coming from Penn Can is my background, so sail panels are nothing new for me. And actually, when I first started racing down at Makatech, we ran them on sportsman cars too, kind of like Grandview does. So I've raced more with sail panels personally than without. Now, speaking for Billy, I think sail panels are fairly new for him. I know when Woodhull allowed them, he even raced maybe a year and a half without them against the sail panels, and slowly got adjusted to them and stuff like that. But I think we'll be good with sail panels up there. I don't think we're going to be off our game at all with them.
All right. Well, we're going to have more with Grant Hilfiger, owner of the 78 Modified, running weekly down at the Woodhull Raceway, as well as on the North Tour for the Short Track Super Series operated by Brett Deo. We'll have more with Grant on the other side of the break.
This is Jens Scott from Summit Point Kart in Summit Point, West Virginia. If you're looking for a real racing experience on a real racetrack, come out to Summit Point Kart this weekend. For as little as $25, you can get your racing career started. New this year, Summit Point Kart offers the RX 250 capable of over 75 miles an hour. We're open every Friday from 5 p.m. till 9 p.m., Saturday from noon till 10 p.m., and Sunday from noon till 9 p.m. For more information, go to our website, summitpointkartwithak.com, or you can call us at 304-725-5270. Summit Point Kart, your East Coast karting center.
In the race of everyday life, it's nice to have the green flag. But drivetrain problems are the pits. A fully remanufactured engine, transmission, or differential from Jasper Engines and Transmissions costs less than a new vehicle and comes with a 3-year, 100,000-mile nationwide transferable warranty. See JasperEngines.com for details and get the green flag in your race of everyday life.
See the boys at Chandler & Sons Automotive, 45977 Old Ox Road in Sterling. Give them a call, 703-437-7300.
Ever hire, never quit. Lofty goals in this age of shoddy quality, corporate indifference, and built-in obsolescence. It's a beacon of light in a crowded field of mediocrity. The way a company is run is an indication of how you, the customer, is going to be treated. You have a lot of choices when you're searching for auto and performance parts online and at the corner parts store. So why should you buy from Excelsior Racing? Because they're simply the best online parts supplier in the business. If you're looking for selection, ease of ordering, cost, and prompt delivery, look no further. If you have a question, our customer service hotline, staffed by knowledgeable gearheads like you, will ensure that you get what you need to fix or mod your car or truck. With 1,000 suppliers, you're guaranteed to get what you need. First time, every time. Excelsior Racing. Excellence on the track. Excellence on the road. Excellence in customer service. Online at ExcelsiorRacing.com or call 502-909-2034.
For 17 years, Stock Car Steel has been a leading materials supplier to the racing industry. Now they're also an official motorsports content partner of Race Chaser Online. The biggest names in NASCAR trust Stock Car Steel for all their raw materials, such as carbon steel, chrome moly, DOM, aluminum, plastics, and much, much more. You can't build a race car without the basic materials, and Stock Car Steel is the place to get them. Don't forget to also visit Stock Car Steel's sister company, SRI Supplies, for racing and industry. SRI is your #1 source for all your shop supply needs. Nuts, bolts, rivets, tapes, adhesives, cutting tools, chemicals, body shop supplies, paint shop supplies, lubricants, and more. A well-stocked race shop is a winning race shop, and the road to winning begins with 3 letters, SRI. For more information, visit StockCarSteel.com and SRI-supplies.com. You can also find them on Facebook at Stock Car Steel and Aluminum, or call either company toll-free at 1-888-752-7272.
Welcome back to Turn 5 Live. Here's Stephen, Clint, and Brad.
Welcome back, race fans. Turn 5 Live here on the Performance Motorsports Network. Talking with Grant Hilfiger here, winning car owner for the 2014 Modified Track Championship at the Woodhull Raceway. And Grant, I'm going to start with this question. I know that Billy went and did some races with the Ryan Susi team out at Ransomville in a backup 38 car. And what was interesting with Billy running those races is when I saw him at Ransomville and interviewed him, he told me that he felt like Ryan Susi taught him just as much, if not more, than he was able to teach Ryan. And I'm wondering, what kind of things, did you see a difference in Billy after coming back and from racing those races at Ransomville?
I definitely think him and Ryan talked, a lot of setup, a lot of shocks, stuff like that. And, the more people you could talk to in this sport that's going to be honest with you and upfront with you, the better off you are, And I think that was one of those cases where he was up there in one of their cars and, they got into some discussions and it, kind of opened Billy's eyes to some ways that other people do things, because, Billy's just been so good at Woodhull for so long, and it's easy to kind of, I don't want to say get in a rut, but do same old, So I think it made him kind of look at things from a different perspective. So, we tried a couple different things, and it really did work for us. And, even with me and Billy discussing things back and forth and the way, me and my dad did things and the way that I learned to do a couple things, I think the more people that have input, the better. You definitely don't have to use everything, but it definitely gives you a good way to think about things.
Now, Grant, you said that you were a champion down at Penn Can. It's kind of where you cut your teeth in racing. What made you move up to the Woodhull Raceway, and explain to us like the first friendships that you made there?
Well, I always would like to get out there once or twice a year. My family's from up that way. Me and my dad relocated down to the Poconos in Pennsylvania, but we still have a lot of family up that supports the Woodhull Speedway and are Billy Van Pelt fans. So, for us to go up there almost felt like we were running in front of our home crowd. So we'd go up there, once or twice a year, and I think I've won, 4 or 5 sportsman races there when they did the Open Sportsman against Crate Sportsman. I won a couple of those, and then when I raced for Wes Campbell, I won some races up there. So I guess I probably would never race there full time if I was running out of my shop down here, but with me and Billy's deal, and really it's foolish to take Billy Van Pelt out of Woodhull Speedway, you know what I mean? It really don't make sense. So I guess that's kind of how we got locked in there.
You guys come and win the championship in 2014. I mean, that sets the bar pretty high for year number 2. And of course, you're taking on the challenge of running the North Series for the Short Track Super Series. Where do you guys set your goals for the coming year?
Obviously the championship, that's a goal. We won 6 races up there, 5 points races, and the Lyle Sherwood Memorial, which was probably the most important race of my career. Even though I won it as a car owner, I still want to win it as a driver. Goals for this year, I mean, realistically, I think we can go double digits win at Woodhull Speedway. I started the year out this year with Billy with some conservative equipment, and we've definitely upped our game for this upcoming year. On the Super Series, if we could get top 10 in points, I'd be tickled. Really just have a lot of fun. That's kind of what it boils down to. Obviously we want to win. We need to win. Keep the sponsors happy. Keep everybody happy on the team. But championship at Woodhull, top 10 in points in the Super Series, I'd be a very happy car owner.
And the Short Track Super Series has an event coming up at the Woodhull Raceway. Being that that's home for Billy Van Pelt in that 78 car, got to be super excited about that kind of show coming to Woodhull.
Yeah, definitely. Anytime that you could have a race like that brought to your home track where, your driver had so much success, it definitely is a good thing. I think we're up for the challenge. It's definitely going to be a challenge, The those guys that travel that series, you know, it might not be their home track. They might have never seen it before, but they're coming to win. You know, they're not traveling all the way up to Woodhull to run second to Billy Van Pelt, but I really hope they do.
Billy Van Pelt, his nephew, we understand, is going to be moving up into the modifieds in 2015.
Mm-hmm.
Talk to us about, you know, what you know about Dylan Groover. I mean, to me, he seems like he's going to be that guy that takes the torch and carries on, you know, that legacy of that family as far as the dirt modifieds go.
Yeah, definitely. You know, you watch him run a sportsman car out there, and then you see him get out, and you're like, wow, he just did that. You know what I mean? Definitely talented. Definitely can wheel a race car. I think he'll be a great addition to the modified field. He's a very clean driver. He can definitely keep his car out of the wrecks. You know, he can look ahead. I definitely think he's going to be a good addition, and he's definitely a great driver. He's definitely going to take some wins. You know, I'm not saying he's going to win right off the bat, but he's definitely going to be a contender. He took my modified out for hot laps after the feature one night at Woodhull, and you know, some people were walking out of the stands, and they looked up and they seen me standing there, and they're like, "I thought you were out there hot lapping the car. Who's in the car?" I'm like, "It's Dylan," and they just couldn't believe it. You know, for his first time being in a modified, you know, he was running it. You know, he was doing a great job.
What was that like, seeing him in the car that night and going out there and running it like you said?
To be honest with you, when it was first happening, you know, I told Billy, yeah, you know, if that's what you want, put the kid in the car and put him out there. But I kind of had my doubts. You know, I thought, all right, here we go. This ought to be interesting. But man, was he good? He was smooth. There was other cars out there with him that he was driving by like they were on jack stands, and you know, he was really smart, really heads up, and that's what made me realize, like, okay, I really think that this kid, you know, he's got the respect for the equipment. He's smooth. He can do this, you know.
Well, Grant, it has been an absolute pleasure to have you on the show. It was great to be able to fulfill this fan request off of our social media page, and really appreciate you taking some time to talk to us tonight. I know you guys have a great group of marketing partners and crew that help you get to the track every Saturday night.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we definitely do. You know, and it starts right out with our car. You know, we couldn't do it without Bicknell. Got a great engine builder, Morgantini Racing Engines, Instant Heat Wood Pellets, Colonial Hotel. You know, my two businesses, Grant Hilfiger Contracting and Walker Plumbing, Citizen and Northern Bank, Bradley Supply, Ridge Runner Cafe. Get a lot of help from Fastline Shocks, Bruce Hardwoods, Kurt Van Pelt's Collision Shop, and then you know, I just got to thank Billy, because not only is he a driver, but I mean, he works on that car nonstop. Actually, here during the show, he's sitting here texting me pictures of his progress of the car. You know, so it's really cool. He's got, you know, help from Larry and Shannon in the shop, and a bunch of other guys, and then our good buddy Wes Campbell. You know, he lets us use his shop. Without any of that, or any of the marketing partners, sponsors, crew, it really wouldn't be possible.
Now, will the next time we see you, will we be seeing you guys at the Arnott Mall?
Yeah, we're definitely going to be at the Arnott Mall. We're going to have a car in the Syracuse Motorsports Show. We're going to be in Super Series booth. So between those, I guess you'll see us there.
Yeah, that's great. That's awesome.
Yeah,
well, Grant,
we're excited.
Thanks so much for joining us tonight, and you know, we'll see you both at Syracuse and out at the Arnott Mall.
Great. I look forward to it, and I appreciate what you guys do.
All right, there you go, guys. There's Grant Hilfiger, car owner for the 78 car, driven by none other than Billy Van Pelt, taking down their first track championship as a team in 2014. Clint, honestly, I wasn't sure what to expect when that team got together. I mean, certainly Billy Van Pelt is Billy Van Pelt. I mean, the guy is just the king of Woodhull. There's no doubt about that. I mean, the statistics speak for themselves. But boy, to come out and get all the wins they did, get the track championship, and now rebuilding for 15, these guys are going to be good.
Oh yeah, just exactly like you said. You put Billy Van Pelt in the seat. It's like having Tom Brady at quarterback. He's good himself for 4 or 5 wins, and then you put a top-notch car underneath it. And your possibilities are endless.
We'll talk more about Grant Hilfiger. We'll talk more about Billy Van Pelt, and we've also got some other things we need to get to before we get out of here tonight. You're listening to Turn 5 Live on the Performance Motorsports Network.
How would you like to win a brand new Corvette? Larry O's got all the details.
Enter America's #1 dream car giveaway contest at winyournewcar.com. That's right, winyournewcar.com. Complete the puzzle the fastest and win a new Corvette tax-free, delivered to your door. Come on, stop dreaming and start driving with winyournewcar.com.
We're growing like crazy and need account reps who know their way around agencies, the internet, and social media. Got connections? Or do you know how to get to the decision makers? Are you fearless? We need you. Internet radio, or as we call it, wireless mobile radio, is rapidly becoming the place to be with almost limitless income potential. So contact us to get involved with the fastest growing professionally produced group of internet radio stations in the world. Your imagination is the only limit here. Call 717-749-0444. That's 717-749-0444. Or you can email us at scorpionradiogroup@gmail.com. You want to ask for Sue.
So you finally arrived at the sweet spot in your life. The kids are raised and gone. You have free time, and it's finally time to do something for you. If you've ever considered owning a Corvette, but have been putting it off for years, now is the time to act. Isn't this the time to finally get that Corvette you always wanted and drooled and dreamed over? Well, grab the little lady by the hand and take her to Cooper Corvettes. They're conveniently located on Route 1 just off of I-95 and just north of the Marine Corps base. They have lots of pampered and well-maintained Corvettes in inventory. And if they don't have what you want, they'll find it. From classic Stingrays to modern-day cars, Cooper is your one-stop shop. And speaking of shops, they service what they sell. And even if you didn't buy a Cooper Corvette, they'll service your Corvette anyway. Become part of the Cooper Corvette family. Call them at 703-445-1483. That's 703-445-1483. And on the web at coopercorvettes.com. That's coopercorvettes.com, American pride and countrywide.
You wouldn't trust your taxes to an uncertified accountant, so why trust your vehicle to an uncertified technician? When you have to take your car into the shop, look for the blue and white ASE sign. That ASE blue seal means the shop employs technicians certified by the National Institute for Automotive Service Excellence. ASE certification is proof that technicians have the knowledge and experience to fix your vehicle right the first time. For more information on finding an ASE Blue Seal of Excellence facility, visit the website at www.ase.com.
Creekside Entertainment is the official DJ and photo booth of Turn 5 Live. Stuart Ovens and his staff at Creekside Entertainment are sure to provide you with the very best DJ and photo booth entertainment on the market in the Finger Lakes. Call Stu at 315-481-9700 or CreeksideEntertainmentDJ.com. Book your party or photo booth with Creekside Entertainment today.
Now back to the crew whose studio was named after a dinner entree. Here's Stephen, Clint, and Brad.
That's right. Each and every Tuesday night, 7:30 to 9:30, here live at the Casa de Pork Chop Studios. You can catch Turn 5 Live here on the Performance Motorsports Network. Stephen, Clint, and Brad going to wrap up this week's edition. Clint, my goodness, what a host of interviews tonight. Matt Sheppard, Rocky Warner, Grant Hilfiger. Honestly, modified sportsman divisions that we talked about tonight. Let's get back to the Billy Van Pelt thing. I mean, they're loading up for 2015. They've got 3 cars, engines to get them, winning races and contending for that championship again. And, oh, by the way, they're going to be on the Short Track Super Series, the North region.
Yeah, I think that's I think that's awesome. I know back years ago when Kenny Shupp had the I think it was the TC3 modified series that ran the Southern Tier. And Billy ran that and was really successful in that. And it's good to see Billy out there running more than just Woodhull, because the guy's got so much talent that, any shot that he's got to be out there is a shot that he's got to take.
And I thought it was pretty cool to hear Grant say that, we're gonna let Black Rock, we're gonna make sure that gets off the ground, but they didn't automatically discount not coming out on a couple of Friday nights, and I mean that would be awesome. I mean, Billy had so many championships there at Black Rock. Boy, that would be awesome to see him in Dundee on a Friday night.
Well, we saw him there last year, and he ran a really solid race, and he just knows how to get around those tracks.
Remember the night he come from, I think they qualified through the B main and got into the top 5. I mean, just ran the cushion to perfection.
Well, yeah, there you go. I mean, if anybody can run it to perfection, it's Billy. I mean, high line, middle, low, he'll find it. I almost think that at Yates County, he was one of the first guys to go to the top and start picking off spots. I mean, I think he started towards the back, so he had to come a long ways. But I know he passed a lot of cars, and I'm pretty sure they finished in the top 10.
Yeah, and the other part that we talked with Grant about there too was, let's talk about Dylan Groover. You and I were just talking about him in the commercial break.
Yeah.
Dylan moving up to modifieds this year, and really shouldn't be a huge shock to folks. But, again, like I said to Grant, I really think Dylan is the guy that's going to carry the torch, the next generation of dirt modified racers at Woodhull.
Yeah, I mean, I saw the kid in the Sportsman put that thing in spots where a 12 or 13-year-old kid shouldn't be putting it and making it work. And if he can be that smooth, with a motor that's going to react right when he wants it to underneath him, I think that I see nothing but good things. And I believe that with Woodhull's redraw they have, I wouldn't be surprised to see Dylan put in the top 5 a couple times throughout the season.
Now, do you think 2015 could be the year that he breaks through and gets a win in his rookie year?
I don't think that he's gonna get one this year. It may take him 2 years. The quality of competition at Woodhull is in a class by itself when it comes to the 370 division. You get Billy Van Pelt, Eric Fisher. I don't know if Alan Rudalovich was there. He used to run there every week. Lee Bills. There's just Mike Bills. I think there's just a lot of guys that can win any night out, and with him having a lot to learn as far as car power, running in traffic, I think it's going to take him a couple years. But but it wouldn't. But I'll just leave it with this: it wouldn't surprise me if he did. But I just don't think it's going to happen.
I'm going to play devil's advocate here, Clint.
Okay.
And I think not only is he going to win a race in his rookie year, I think he's going to win 2 features in 2015. And the reason being is exactly what you brought up here just a minute ago, the redraw format at Woodhull. If he could hit the redraw perfectly on a couple occasions, even if it was his top 5 starting position, the way that he ran that car on that hot lap night after the races were done at Woodhull, I really think if you hit the redraw right, I don't see any reason why he couldn't pick up a victory, if not 2. That would just be that would be. I think they'd tear the stands down at Woodhull if that happened.
Oh yeah, well there's no doubt about that. Hometown kid, lighten up the Woodhull victory lane. Yeah, the place would go bonkers.
Now, you brought up a great topic, Clint, and let's go into one of our favorite segments that we do here on Turn 5 Live. Let's go into buy or sell. B-Rad said we got to bring back buy or sell, so
I like buy or sell.
I'm going to do it. We're going to go buy or sell. Now, first topic, buy or sell. The draw-redraw format versus the handicap system.
I'm selling it all day. I hate it. I've hated it right from the start. It didn't matter if it was a touring series like the BRPs or the weekly series at Woodhull. I don't like it. I'm sorry. I love Billy Van Pelt, but he should never have a chance to draw the pole every week. And he doesn't, obviously. But if he draws the pole 5 times, the race is for second place, and I don't like that. I think if you are that consistent and you're running up front, I think you need to come from 18th or 19th on the starting grid, to let the other guys have a chance. Now, what my dad and I were actually talking about this the other night. Back in the late 80s, early 90s at Yates County, Dundee, Black Rock, they had 35, 36 cars. And if you were going to win the championship, you had to come from 18th or 19th every week to pass cars. And I just don't think that a guy as Billy Van Pelt's quality and caliber should be allowed to start on the front row.
Well, now I'm going to turn it over to B-Rad, who was all about doing the buy or sell tonight. I'm gonna bat this one over to you, Brad. Buy or sell the draw-redraw system versus having a handicap system.
I'm going to have to go with Clint on that. I think it's more entertaining for me as a race fan to go to the track and have to watch a Matt Sheppard, Billy Van Pelt, Billy Dunn, to root those guys through the field, to see them come up from mid to back of the pack and have to come up and race for the win. And, I can't tell you the number of races I've watched at Canandaigua between guys like Matt Sheppard, Alan Johnson, Billy Dunn coming up to the field and giving, the last 6, 7, 8 laps of the race, you're breathing, your breathing gets harder. The excitement, the adrenaline's there. I personally like that more than, I'm not going to say, no, I don't like my guy being out front and winning by half a track, but I like the excitement factor of the handicap.
And I'm gonna bat this one in the same direction you guys do. I do like the handicap system, and I guess it's just from my own personal experience, Clint. I mean, the year that I drove a Black Rock Bandit car, 4-cylinder for the Pavosky boys, in order for us to pull down the championship like we did, we knew we had to start 18th or worse. Back then the Bandit division had anywhere, I'd start anywhere from 16th to 20th, depending on how many cars we had that night. And we always had to come from the back. And honestly, I felt like it helped me become a better driver. I mean, yeah, I had to earn it, but, working traffic and having to pass cars on the low side because they were up in the high lane, and that's where I like to run at that point in time, I really felt like it made me a better driver. So good takes on that, gentlemen. I like that. Next topic. We asked this question to Matt Sheppard earlier tonight, and now we're going to bat it around between the three of us. Is Canandaigua the most competitive dirt modified field on a Saturday night? I'll let Clint start.
It's really tough for me to answer this, Steve, because as far as big block tracks go, I don't get to many because Friday night I'm at Black Rock, or Saturday if I go anywhere it's Canandaigua or Woodhull. But from what I've seen, from the press releases I see, from the fields that you look through the results, I think top to bottom Canandaigua's probably got one of the toughest fields to get through.
Brad?
I think I'm actually going to have to agree with Matt on this topic that Canandaigua has definitely got a strong field. And, I mean, you've got to be on your game, on top of the ball 2 steps ahead of everybody else to really pull down a big win at Canandaigua. But I kind of think each track has their own, each track has their handful of guys that if you want to win at that track, you got to beat these guys. Now, as far as Canandaigua versus some other tracks like Fulton and some of the other southern and northern tracks that run Saturday nights, I think Canandaigua stands out for me just for the simple fact of you've got so many of the heavy hitters of the Super Dirt Series that come in weekly, plus all of your local guys. I love going to Canandaigua to watch a race. I'm never disappointed. It doesn't matter if it's a pure stock, street stock, pro stock, sportsman, 305s, or big block race. I'm always entertained to go to Canandaigua. But as far as being the most competitive, I personally think it's more of a where you're at, or I'm gonna have to say I don't think it's the most competitive. It's kind of a weird question for me, I guess.
Okay, Clint, here's one for you, and I'll wrap up this question about the Saturday night field. I mean, you've seen some races at Lebanon Valley and Fonda. I mean, let's not leave those guys out, though. Those are some pretty strong fields too.
Oh, there sure are, and just exactly like Brad said, you're going to have, wherever you go, you're going to have 5, 6, 7 guys that can win week in, week out, no doubt. And that's going to put on good racing as well. So yeah, I can kind of see Brad's take on that. I'm just going to stay closer to home. I love going to Canandaigua. The track, blacks up and there's racing 3 grooves. The one night I saw, positions 1 through 6 change 25 times in the last 5 laps. So it was just to me that's it.
I will tell you though, if I were a big block modified owner, driver, or even just a crew member, I will say if we ever decided to go up and I was going to go run or take the car or take the team to Canandaigua for a Saturday night and try and come in and pull away with a win, I'd be sweating at the collar watching some of these other guys pull in and going out here and running with them. So I'm by far not saying anything that, Canandaigua doesn't have some of the most competitive guys on the circuit, but I think for me it's more of a track-by-track kind of situation.
Well, guys, we're going to bring Buy or Sell back next week for sure. We've got some other topics that would be fantastic to do Buy or Sell with. So this discussion is not ended here tonight, but we are getting low on time tonight.
Let's congratulate Rico Abreu for winning the Chili Bowl.
Rico Abreu takes the Chili Bowl, and now he's got a K&N Pro Series East ride with Scott Motorsports. How about that? Congrats
that's
to
awesome.
Rico.
Yep. And let's give a shout out to Kyle Larson for defending his teammate against Sammy Swindell.
The old blind man, right? We're going to have more next week on the show. Don't forget, got to get your tickets by Friday if you're going to go to the Yates County Speedway banquet down in Elmira. Don't forget, this coming Sunday, you've got the rules meeting, Dundee VFW, Dundee Lakemont Road in Dundee, New York. Staff meeting starts at 9 o'clock with the rest of the divisions to follow. Check their Facebook page for all of that info. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for joining us on Turn 5 Live. We will see you next Tuesday night at 7:30.
Turn 5 Live is a copyrighted production of the Performance Motorsports Network. PerformanceMotorsportsNetwork.com is a member of the Scorpion Radio Group Incorporated and may not be rebroadcast, replicated, or saved in any media without the explicit written permission of PMN. The opinions expressed on this program are those of the host, co-host, and guests, and do not necessarily reflect those of the management and ownership of either the Performance Motorsports Network or Scorpion Radio Group Incorporated, the advertisers, or marketing partners.